Hi, good morning. I'm Greg Schaefer, and welcome to the virtual CISO Moment Cybersecurity Quick Strike for Monday, July 10th, 2023. Glad you're with me this morning. Let's jump right in. From Info Security Magazine, an international financial institution owned by the world's central banks, has published a new framework designed to help members mitigate cyber risks associated with their digital currencies. Now, a number of countries, including the US and UK, are developing central bank digital currency systems, or CBDC. The Bank of England has claimed that a digital pound would help it provide, quote, an anchor of confidence in our monetary system and, quote, improve the options people have for making payments. However, there's also an acute and persistent cyber threat to digital currencies from both financially motivated cybercrime groups and even nation states. Makes sense. Read more on you can read more in the article here. We'll go a little further. That's why the Bank of International Settlements, or BIS, on Friday has published Project Polaris, a security and resilience framework and threat modeling exercise for CBDCs. Quote, a breach of a CBDC system due to a cyber attacks or technical failures could erode confidence and trust in the infrastructure, a central bank, and potentially the financial system, in addition to generating a range of reputational, operational, and legal effects, BIS said. Going on with the quote, many central banks already have robust cybersecurity and resilience methods in place, that's true, and adhere to the highest of industry standards in controls and risk management. However, risks cannot be fully eliminated, and it is critical that senior leadership is aware of potentially new and elevated threats facing CBDC systems so an appropriate risk management and mitigation strategy can be established. Now, the framework contains 100 control objectives built around a 7-step plan for security and resilience: prepare, identify, protect, detect, respond, recover, adapt. Interesting stuff. New framework to take a look at. Security Affairs reports the French government is going to grant law enforcement the power to spy on suspects through smartphones and other devices. French legislatures are going to approve a justice reform bill that also gives more power to law enforcement, allowing them to spy on suspects through their smartphones and other electronic devices. According to the French newspaper Le Monde, law enforcement will be allowed to use spyware for their investigation. The software also can remotely spy on the suspects using the microphone and camera of the devices and also collect their GPS information. The Assemblée Nationale has approved the measure, which forms one of the articles of encompassing multiple provisions, and the Justice Minister attempted to reassure the citizens by explaining that this power will be used for the investigation of a limited number of cases per year. Quote, part of a wider justice reform bill, the spying provision has been attacked by both the left and right defenders as an authoritarian snooper's charter, though Justice Minister Eric Dupond-Moretti insists that it would affect only dozens of cases a year, reads the article published by Le Monde. Quote, we are far away from the totalitarianism of 1984, which is, of course, George Orwell's novel about society under total surveillance. People's lives will be saved by the law, he added. The police can use multiple means to gather data from the suspects' devices, including laptops, mobile phones, car entertainment systems, and other IoT, which is Internet of Things objects. Now, in a statement issued in May, digital rights group La Quadrature du Net expressed serious concerns regarding the provisions, citing potential infringements on fundamental liberties. The group highlighted the importance of protecting the privacy of its citizens. The digital rights group also believes that the proposal is a significant step towards excessive security measures, signaling a troubling trend. vCISO Services is a small, specialized, veteran-owned information security firm with a calling, founded on Christian values and focused on the needs of small and mid-sized businesses. Our passion is to help small and mid-sized businesses gain a fighting chance in an increasingly hostile cybersecurity threat environment by providing executive part-time virtual CISO services, information security risk management services, and CISO advisory services. Check them out at vcisoservices.com. And if you're interested in advertising on the podcast, just give me a holler at greg@gregschaefer.info. According to CyberCaptcha, 2 of the file management apps on Play Store are found to be spyware apps. With around 1.5 million users, these apps are sending sensitive user data to China. Pradio, well-known cybersecurity company, recently exposed 2 apps, File Recovery and Data Recovery and File Manager, as spyware apps, collecting user data and sending them to the servers in China. These 2 apps are silently putting its security and privacy of its users at risk. As per Pradio's article, both apps are from the same developer named Wang Tom that can be seen on Play Store. These apps are designed to launch without any user interaction and silently send the user's sensitive data to China. The identified 2 applications declined the news of data leakage. The data that was being collected were the user's contacts, pictures, audio, videos, network details, device details, country, and so much more. These apps are still found on the Play Store and have not been deleted yet, at least as of the date of this article. Now, Pradio also states that these 2 apps keep their home screen icon hidden just to make it difficult for users to remove them. They can also exploit the permissions granted by the user during installation to restart the device and initiate operations in the background. It is recommended to uninstall the File Recovery and Data Recovery and/or the File Manager applications installed on your device immediately. Check reviews before installing any application on your device and thoroughly read the permission policy before accepting any permission request. Good advice. Looking for a conference this fall, you might want to think about coming here to Music City in Nashville. The Music City Center in downtown Nashville will play host to the InfoSec Nashville Conference 2023 on September 26th and 27th, organized by ISSA Middle Tennessee, and I will be there. Would love to say hello to you. The conference will be held for the 22nd time this year. That's a lot of years. Now, they say they are extending the conference to a day and a half for the first time. A Capture the Flag competition oriented towards security practitioners of all levels will take place throughout the first half of the day. For a full day of captivating speakers and networking opportunities, InfoSec Nashville brings together technologists and security experts ranging from students to CISOs. 2 keynote speakers, 4 tracks of breakout sessions, informal flash sessions, and a bustling exhibition floor are all featured during the conference. The cost of the conference entry includes parking, lunch, and a cocktail reception with giveaways in the afternoon, so check it out. From the Hacker News, malicious actors exploited an unknown flaw in Revolt's payment systems to steal more than $20 million of the company's funds in early 2022. This development was reported by the Financial Times, citing multiple unnamed sources with knowledge of the incident. The breach has not been disclosed publicly. The fault stemmed from discrepancies between Revolt's U.S. and European systems, causing funds to be erroneously refunded using its own money when some transactions were declined. This problem was first detected in late 2021, but before it could be closed, the report said organized criminal groups leveraged the loophole by, quote, encouraging individuals to try to make expensive purchases that would go on to be declined. The refunded amounts would then be withdrawn from ATMs. The exact details, technically wise, associated with the flaw are currently unclear. Now, about $23 million US was stolen in total, with some funds that were recovered by pursuing those who had withdrawn cash. The mass fraud scheme is said to have resulted in a net loss of about $20 million for the neobank and fintech firm. From Domain Magazine, in the ever-evolving landscape of cryptocurrency, security concerns have become increasingly prevalent. Users of the popular crypto exchange Coinbase have recently fallen victim to a surge of scams and phishing attacks. Disturbingly, scammers are now leveraging Coinbase's own domain name to deceive unsuspecting individuals. So the article that we have here delves into the alarming rise of such incidents and sheds light on the tactics employed by these fraudulent actors. As the crypto market continues to expand, it is crucial for investors to remain vigilant and take necessary precautions to safeguard their assets. Makes sense. In a recent disclosure, a Twitter user named Daniel Mason brought attention to a series of security breaches involving scammers masquerading as Coinbase representatives. Mason reported receiving texts and emails from fraudsters utilizing the legitimate domain name Coinbase.com. The sophisticated scam unfolded as the fraudster posing as a Coinbase employee, initiated contact with Mason, employing a genuine phone number. Subsequently, an email from the legitimate help@coinbase.com email address arrived, further blurring the lines of authenticity. The unsuspecting victim was then directed to a Coinbase subdomain URL where personal information, including addresses, social security numbers, and driver's license numbers, were maliciously obtained. So be careful. Let's be careful out there. Political reports. Germany's military spy agency is warning that Russia and China are boosting their espionage activities in the country. In a new report published last Friday, Germany's military counterintelligence service said that it is of prominent value for Russia, hence why a high number of Russian intelligence operatives are deployed there. Now, since Germany started actively backing Ukraine with ammunition and weapons to fend off Russia's full-scale aggression, it is being reconnoitered even more intensively by Russian services, according to the report. Their words. Russia's ability to spy on Germany has been weakened, however, since Berlin expelled 40 Russian diplomats over the last year. Russia is expected to try to compensate by other methods of obtaining information, as Moscow seeks to have an advantage over NATO countries. Russia's ability to sabotage essential infrastructure is also considered a serious threat in the report. China is pursuing cyber espionage, hybrid measures, as well as classic espionage operations as the Asian superpower looks to dominate on the world stage. Now, Chinese participants make intensive use of access to Bundeswehr. I'm not pronouncing that correctly. I should know better, but I'm having a tongue-tied moment. And personnel to gather information. China and Russia are the most active players in the espionage, the military agency concluded. And then finally, I've got a list for you today. This one actually came up pretty easily. I was just surfing around this morning and found it just almost immediately. It is from Ciolo, and it is 5 unique security challenges facing OT ICS environments. So we're going to go through and take a look at this. So operational technology is what OT stands for, and industrial control systems is ICS. So the unique challenges, without further ado, number one, operational safety. And a cyber attack on an ICS can cause not only significant financial damage, but it can also compromise the safety of workers, the wider public, and the environment. I would agree with that. I worked a long time ago when I was in college. I did a lockout tagout project for OSHA requirements for a metal working factory. And yes, if those machines, even then controlled by computer, were hacked for whatever, it could mean life or death. Systems availability. Industrial facilities rely on continuous operation. Any downtime due to cyber attacks and other security incidents can result in severe service disruptions, production losses, economic consequences, and potential harm. All right. Number 3, dependence on legacy architecture. I once remember I was interviewing at I won't really specify the type of industry, but let's just say that they had a very large piece of machinery that was, and this was probably, I'd say about 12, 13, 14 years ago, something like that. So a very large piece of machinery, manufacturing machinery, that was controlled by a machine that was running Windows 95. That was one factor into my decision to not pursue. Number 5, or the next one, I guess, is isolation is key. That would be number 4. Fewer OT systems are fully air-gapped or otherwise isolated from IT networks and the internet, but they say isolation continues to play a vital role in OT security. Of course, I mean, the more that you can isolate, the less chance that you have of an external attacker coming in. And then the last one, compliance regulations. Many industries across both IT and OT are currently facing new and stricter compliance mandates, but of course, not all regulatory guidance is designed the same. So they are saying that compliance regulations in the OT space emphasize the protection of critical infrastructure and operational continuity. That makes sense. So you can read more about that list. The link, as always, is in the show notes. And that is it for today. We have coming up tomorrow on the interview, which will drop at 8 o'clock in the morning Central, Alec Sorois. He is the CEO of Impact Cyber, and he is talking to us about email security. So you don't want to miss that. And then, of course, we'll have the Throwback Thursday episode, and then the cybersecurity, the InfoSec wrap up on Friday. So until then, hope you have an absolutely wonderful day, and as always, stay secure.